Welcome, each and every one. Welcome to the Sunday Vibes Tychicus Live. Kenrick, bless up yourself. Early Sunday Live, early Sunday morning. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling high in the spirit. And I just do believe it would be so appropriate to ask people on the World Wide Web to join in with me this morning to share this fantastic feeling that I'm feeling. I would mind each and every one of you feeling the same way. This joy, this happiness, and more so, the hunger to know the truth of the Almighty God. Who Christ is. What is human being? Do we have the facts? What is our purpose? Why are we here? Is all the story that we have read is true? Why not? Joining with me this morning, let's discuss all of those facts. Let us look into all of those facts this morning. Let us let us search the scriptures. Are you ready to search the scriptures with me this morning? Is there lies in the Bible? Is there exception to some rules in the Bible? Come on this morning. Let us do things a little different. Now, I'm not referring to egoistic people. I really want to refer to the great thinkers, those that think, right? That can expand their mind, the mind expanders, not the one that will just hear something, believe something, and don't think about it. We need the mind expanders this morning. I need them to join in with me this morning. I am hunger for knowledge. I am hunger for the truth. I am hunger for to know my purpose and to help others. Is this blindness causing all this destruction? Is it misconception? Is it false education causing all this type of destruction universally, globally, right? If it is so, then what is the solution? Are we searching to find the solutions? Or we are just settling and said, well, I just saw it going on a God time. You know, are we really searching to find the solutions for the problem of the world today? Are we seeing it? Or we just said we can't do nothing? Right? I want this discussion this morning to be rich, edutaining. I want it to be an eradicator and an educator. Come on. So the well thinkers, the mind expanders, please don't shy away from this discussion, right? Let us have it this morning. My name is Reginald Martin, aka Tychicus, your revelator, right? I wear many hats. I'm jack of all trade, and I am only a master of one, and that one is versatility. Versatility. I am jack of all trade and master of one. the one that I master is to be versatile. So I may able to do lots of things. You would see me selling sign, you would see me dancing, you would see me preaching, you would see me all kind of things. You'd see me teaching, you'd see me discerning, right? Right? Jack of all trade and master of one, and the one that I master is versatility. I can transform into many different areas, right? This morning, the area that I'm in is to teach. So I'm calling on the mind expanders this morning, right? I do believe it is time we stop looking at the messenger and listen to the message, right? I think it is time for people to stop look at people by the way they dresses, the way they carry on, right? But look at the message that they are sending, right? Because that is one of the main reasons why I choose to have this live this morning, right? I need to have this live to look at the purpose of death, or the purpose of death has been utilized as in the days of old, before Christ until Christ. Because Christ has died for an example. How do we see death today? Do we see death in the same light as in the time of Christ? Right? Do we see death? No. As it has been when Christ has died. Is that practice, or has it changed from its purpose? Has that changed from its purpose? Because it has been said that Christ has died for us, for all of our sins, for all, right? So bring forth the message of salvation and in an understandable way. As an example, do we still see Christ's death in that light? Now, if we do or we don't, could we discuss it this morning? Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your niece, tell your friend, right? Right? Tell everybody. Share this live right now. Tell them that a very important discussion is taking place. Let us understand this a little bit more, as the late Francois and Alan Otto Jones in the morning, Sunnyside Upwood said, let me understand it a little more. And the only way we're gonna understand it a little more, and we have to discuss it. Here is an opportunity to share this live, right? Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your niece, tell your friend. Yes, this morning, the 4th of September 2022, share this live. Let us discuss this. Don't look at the messenger. Look at the message. Look at the reason why he wanted to have this live, right? Look, yes, I am here in confusion with my mind, and I knew that people out there can't help. Now, show how generous you are. Show how genuine you are. Come, Mr. Pastor. Come, Mr. Bishop. Come, Mr. Overseer. Come, Mr. and Mrs. Religion. Come. Please help me this morning to discuss something that is bothering me. If you are a servant of Christ this morning, don't stay away from this live. Come, Miss St. Anne's preacher. Come, Mr. Pastor. Come, Mr. Bishop. Please Come, let us discuss this morning. We are hunger for the knowledge, right? We see that the younger people are shying away from the church, from the Bible. We are seeing that. Come, let us look at the reason why. Come, let us try to get them to understand why they must listen to you. Come, Mr. Bishop, share the live, right? Share the live. Come, let us discuss it. Now, this morning, we are not going to talk people's business, right? We are not going to gossip this morning. Well, probably if I did call a live for gossip and folly and frolics, then probably I would have about 10 or 20 already to the time that I started, right? I would probably have 1,000,000 already. But we are going to discuss. I want to discuss. I want to learn. I want to clear my head. Please, Mr. Bishop, Mr. Church leaders, come on. I know you have to go to service a little later. That's why I started it now. Please come, let us discuss something here that I do not understand. Come, we are going to discuss the book of Hebrew, which I don't understand. This one is not about likes. This one is not about gift. This one is to eradicate and educate. Right? I beg of you, this is not about giving your husband back shot or your wife back shot. No, this is not. This is about to eradicate and educate. Come on, join in the discussion. He said, one can chase 1,000. So one come, two come, three come. Let us discuss the truth of salvation, the great salvation. We are going to look at the book of Hebrew, right? We are going. Well, you can help me to stop talk to myself and speak to me. Don't be a stupid, right? Don't come with stupid comments. Come and talk to me as well. You're doing now. So let's join in the discussion, right? Right? And I do believe you started on the wrong note. Instead of encouraging me to go on, you are stopping, right? So think before you comes on. Think before you use the finger. Think before you use the typing finger to type. That's why I said I want thinkers, not egoistic people, not people who are ego, had that ego and do not know the facts, right? I need thinkers. Think first. Why is he here begging people to join the live? Because simply I'm not gossiping, right? I'm not here talking people's business. Hello, bless up yourself lifestyle, rich lifestyle. Yes, come, let us discuss how can I stop it, Richie? How can I stop it? Yes, man, by speaking about it and let other people listen and hear it, hoping that they may gravitate, right? But if it is hidden in us, then it is of no good. But once we put it out there, then it have all the chance in the world to reach the ears that you want it to reach. Right? Have it inside of us ain't doing us no good. And that's the problem probably we are having in the churches. Because the depth of the truth of the gospel is not being taught and preached in the church. And if the reason for that is because the truth carries so much burn. The truth doesn't carry that amount of radiance, right? It doesn't carry that amount of bling, right? No. So they prefer to divert from the truth and preaches what the people wants to hear. I've seen it on many occasions, right? And that is why the truth of the story is not being told. And that is why probably the world is in this crisis, because the truth of nature, the truth of the creator is not being told, right? What has been told is a religious gospel that is out there, right? We've seen that we are now in September, an unusual weather pattern, right? Unusual weather pattern, the truth of nature, the truth of how to preserve life, right, is not being taught, minus or religious thought. Someone said, "Me woman, give me a lot of bone." You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? I'm not about that, sir. Right? You can check someone else, someone else's life. That's not what I am on, right? That is not. I tell you, I wear many hats, right? I won't allow anyone to divert my topic this morning. This topic, your woman giving you bond, here there's another place and another time for that, right? 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 All right. Let's say then you are not satisfying your woman is because you do not know the right food to eat. So you have that stamina and strength to satisfy her. So she will always looking for someone who is a satisfier, right? So first and foremost, you got to know the truth of whom you are, sir. You got to know the truth of who you are, why you are a human being, why you are nature being. And if you are nature being, then you need to follow the laws of nature. You are not a religious being. So stop following religions, right? And denominations, but follow nature's rule. And the problem you're having in being a satisfier to your woman, that she has to burn your heart, right? Because it's your heart that get burned, right? When she goes and look out for people who can satisfy her, can let you tingles with delight, right? It burns your heart. That's why they call it burn, right? That's the reality of the story, right? So go and get some good natural food and drinks in your body, so you can let your woman tingles with delight. And can I stop her? Of course you can. Of course you can stop her. Yes? By satisfying her financially, emotionally, sexually. Yes, you can stop her. Right? You can let your woman only think of you and you alone. Of course it can. Of course you can. You willpower, strong mind, and your ability can let she think of you every passing moment, right? With your ability to satisfy her in all the areas, right? She, as greedy as she are, as easy as she are, she will think on you and you alone if you satisfy her. And I'm going to tell you why. Today's world is dangerous. And to be hopscotching around, I'm quite sure, as I put it to you this morning, that you have women out there that would want to be with one person. But in that one person, she cannot find all that she's looking for. She keeps searching like Google, going around and searching. And in those cases, as you would have gone into the wholesale and see samples on the table, come and sample this. Come and sample this. And many women out there sampling, testing, right? And turning just to find that individual. Because she found out that I have someone else. She found out that I have someone else. You ever first thought why you have to have someone else? You ever thought first why you don't make her your one and only? Is it greed or is it need? Right? Now, you have to choose between those two. You have to look between those two, whether it's your greed or your need. Do you need to look outside? Can this woman pleasure you, satisfy you in every way? How she's in the kitchen, right? How she's in bed? How is her reasoning ability? How she's with laundering? How she's with saving your money, with preserving? How does she look after the children? If all those are fine, then it's not your need, it's your greed. Right? So you have to first find out which one of them causing you to be looking outside of her. Right? What is it? Why you have to be looking outside of her? Right? She found out. Now it's you write this, rich lifestyle. She find out that I have someone else. Why did you have to have someone else? Right? Why? All right, don't have. Let's take out the word have out of your statement and put in take. She found out that I take someone else because the Bible stated, take unto yourself a woman and call her your wife. Right? So take out the word have and use take. She found out that I take someone else for my wife. And that's where the problem lies, rich lifestyle. That's where the problem lies, The interpretation of words, the expansion of your mind, right? That's where the problem lies. Because you have someone else. And the order that nature gives is to take, not to have. Right? Take unto yourself a woman. Take unto yourself a man. So if you take Sandra, right? Sandra is a satisfier. Why do you run in looking for Jennifer? Because you want to have more than one. And nature's rule is to take one. Right? You must understand the script here. You must understand it. Now, what if you are someone who is a sexual doctor? What if your purpose on earth is to bring people to reality through sexual intercourse? That's why the word have and take makes a difference. Do you know your purpose? Do you know the avenue it takes, it wants you to take to be a healer? Suppose you're a sexual healer, right? Do you know your purpose, Richie? If you know your purpose, then state it so we can have a reason. Do you know if you are a one-man girl or you are a sexual doctor? You are a healer. You are supposed to bring someone to the reality. Not someone, you're supposed to bring people to the reality. You know, some people are gifted in many different ways. And like I said, I need thinkers this morning to think these things out with me. Now, Jacob was a blesser. Jacob was a blesser. Jacob received the blessings from his father, courtesy of Rebekah, who have overheard Isaac were about to bless Esau. But instead we know, I don't know if you know, but I know what happens there, and they shift around and Jacob got the blessings. So in all things that Jacob has done is blessed. If Jacob touches anybody, they are blessed. If Esau touches anyone, they are cursed. Do we understand the scripture that way? Is our mind expanding to those facts? Right? So what is your purpose? The first thing you must try and understand your purpose that you must serve on earth. Are you a one-man woman? Are you a one-woman man? Or are you were said as an example? Jacob certainly weren't a one-woman man, because he has Rachel, he has Leah, he has Bilhah and Zillah, and there could be many more that I haven't mentioned in the book, because Jacob was a blesser. Right? So come with me, let's discuss these topics. Because Jacob, in his carry-on, produces the 12th tribe of Israel. What is your purpose? Do you know your purpose? In having more than one wife, in blessing Laban with his appearance, and blesses Rachel and Leah, Zillah and Bilhah through sexual transfusion. What is your purpose? Now, mind expanders we are looking for, right? Share the life, right? Get the mind expanders here to discuss this with me this morning. The reality of salvation, the truth of salvation. Get the mind expanders. Come on, right? Right? Do you know your purpose? Do you know what your creator, what God wants you to do? Or do you know what your religion wants you to do? Hmm? Do you know what man wants you to do? Yes, a lot of you know what the prime minister, what is expected of you by following his protocols. Do you know the protocols of the creator who is master of the prime minister? Yes, you would have known the protocols that are set by man, but refuse to learn and understand the protocol of whom is the master of who mastering you. Mind expanders this morning. Mind expanders join in the discussion and help to build a 2030, a 2040 different world by eradicating ignorance, right? And impart to the coming generation the knowledge of nature, right? Let us eradicate illusions out of the minds of the youth and let them stop killing themselves, right? Let them stop seeing themselves not purposeful. Let them stop seeing themselves as fully done people. Come on, you can make a difference. Thank you, Richie. Richie Lifestyle, Rich Lifestyle, for putting in your little bit, which I thought at first were inappropriate, but then with my mind expanding so very rapidly, right, it could fit into the discussion because many people do not know their purpose, right? Because you may be a sexual blesser and you make religion tell you that that is an abomination for your purpose, right? You may be easily one of those who are not to take, but to have. So you must know if you are one of those Richie Lifestyle or one of coming from the line of Jacob, the blesser. Sure, if you are from that line, then you are going to follow into the line of Jacob, right? So you must know your clans, your tribes, your purpose. But people intend to know their religion, uphold their religion much more than their purpose, and instead diverting them from their real purpose. And that is why the world today is like this. Indoctrination, wrong interpretation. Right? What can you do to revolutionize this? Are you sure there's nothing you can do to help someone worse off than you? Mavis Staple, think before you answer. Are you sure? Just think before you answer. Think before you think that I cannot help this. Think before you answer. I want the thinkers this morning. I want the thinkers to discuss this with me, right? I don't want the egoistic people who hear things and don't know things, who believe things and don't know things. I want the mind expanders, those whose mind can extend beyond the teachings that they receive, right? Those are the people I need this morning to come and help me to eradicate and educate, right? Want you to put aside your denomination, want you to put aside your religion, right? My name is Reginald Samuel Martin, aka Tychicus, right? You need not be afraid, right? I know it in many different ways. I can be very egoistic. I can be very hilarious. I can be very dark. And I can be very intelligent and intellectual. Right? My purpose, which I understand need to be, is jack of all trade and master of versatility. That's what I gather from the book of Hebrew, chapter 2, that every human being must be versatile to fit into nature's cause. As according to what the literature has said here in Hebrew chapter 2, it said, you made them as in man. You made them for a little while lower than the angels. You covered them with glory and honor and made them rulers over all things. This statement did not say some things. This particular statement here, reading from Hebrew chapter 2, and I was reading from verse 7. Now you can check your Bible, right? He was speaking of human being. And for a little while, he made them lower than the angels. For a little while. How long is that little? Or how short? What is this amount of time? How long they were made lower than the angels? Well, further down you would have read until Christ. Until Christ appears as an example to lead. As an example to lead. Men were without a leader, as far as the scripture would say, until Christ came as an example to lead. And that is when we get now higher than the angels. Now, comprehension is the key here. That's why we need thinkers, right? We need people who understand. We need to understand people. We need to get people who understand the word all. That you don't put exception when God says all, he means all. When God said he means ah. So we don't put exception to things. And it's the exceptions to the rules that causing this heavy destruction on earth. Because what nature said, man had put exception to it and preaches and teaches this, and it causes destruction. So it is corruption multiplied by corruption that brings destruction. Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your niece, tell your friend, join this live. Tychicus is on it again, right? And if you're searching for knowledge and constructive argument, there's no reason why you should scroll by it. If you are one who is searching as I am doing now, if you really, really want to know your purpose, right, then you would have studied with me. Because the Bible stated, reason together. Me no mean God church go jump up and dance without no reasoning. Hallelujah, cut tongues. Right? And no reasoning. So we thank God for TikTok. We thank God for these various platforms that we can independently have our reasoning. Why not share the live? Why not join in? Right? And let us try and understand this. What we don't understand. A lot of people go to church and come back with nothing. Empty. Because what they want to know is not being preached and teach in the four walls of the church. So why not then use glory, the technology that we have here, right? You can stay in the confine of your room, wherever you are around the world, and join a discussion like this. Why shine away from discussion like this? Why you are in silk bass thing. If I were talking about silk bass, if I were talking about the gunmen, if I were talking about homosexuality, I am quite sure that I would see over 1.5 million in attendance. And the comments would be lengthy and plenty, right? Here is a discussion. Here is a discussion that will make you better understand who you are, right? What you are, your purpose on earth. Why not join in? Why not share this live, right? And join in the discussion. Correct me where I go wrong. I correct you if I see you are going wrong or out of my line of thinking. Let us reason together, right? It's not only the trivial things. It's not only gossiping. It's not only get up every day and talk about Vladimir Putin. It's not every day you get talk about creation, right? And how we can fix it. What we can do to contribute to nation building. Come on, man. Let's reason. What is it? Where are we going to get up every day and cry out, oh, the prices of oil is high. The prices of flowers is high. The prices of chicken is high. But what can we do? Right? Right? It's time we searches, we look for solutions. And in order to come up with solutions, you has to be a thinker. Like Daniel. You got to be a thinker like a Marcus Garvey. You got to be a thinker. Right? Think out of the box, out of the realms of the normal things, the ordinary things, and try and to be an extraordinary person, right? Like Haile Selassie, right? A Malcolm X, right? They were all extraordinary thinkers. Even like Christ, he wasn't ordinary. Get up out of your ordinary zone, right? And establish yourself, extend your mind. That when you see one like a Tychicus, now expanding his mind, you don't call him a madman, right? Daniel, mind could have extended. Samuel, mind could have extended, right? The Apostle Paul, minds could have extended, right? It doesn't stop right where the Apostle Paul teaches it. The Apostle Paul needs you to expand your mind beyond his teaching. Daniel expects you to expand your mind beyond his wealth of knowledge. Solomon Solomon wants you to expand your mind, extend your mind above his teaching or his wisdom. Samson wants you to expand your strength above his strength. Mind expansion, willpower, strong mind, and your ability. Come on. It's not what they teach is at the sweat book. They are great, greater, greatest. High, higher, highest. So when you hear something, don't leave it there and come tell me that it is gospel. Right? What happened to your, I'm going to use this word, they say me use a lot of big words. I mean, I know a big word, because I can't spell good. Intuitions. Look at the word in. Your own intuition. Right? To get a baby, you have to have intercourse. Intercourse. So, your outer man and your inner man, which is your mind. Your inner man is your mind. The unseen man in you is your mind. So that's why all of these words travel together. Interview. Interview. Interview is get into the aquarium of one's mind. What they have in their mind. And the interviewer, if he or she is good, can make you know a person. Because he's getting into the aquarium of your mind to bring out what is inside there. Why don't you interview me this morning? Why don't you interview me this morning to get in the aquarium of my mind? How much my mind can expand? How much my mind can expand? Is there anyone who want to join this discussion this morning? Is there anyone want to participate in this discussion this morning? Are you a thinker? Are you a thinker? Someone who can think out of the box? Someone whose mind can expand to various topics, various things, even from the beginning of creation? That's the purpose of an interviewer, right? And we said intercourse, inner man, interview, right? To continue life, you have to have intercourse. Sexual intercourse. The course means the road you take to make life. Oh, glory. The course, the track you take to make life. That's why it's named intercourse. Interview is the road, the way, the pathway to get in the aquarium of one's mind. Intercourse, interview. How can I view you from your inner man? You got to use the spoken words. The spoken words that will intelligently ask an intelligent question come out through spoken words. An intelligent answer, right? So that is the reason why reasoning is so important. Having your knowledge and feeling above me because you have a paper stamp said you have PhDs and I may not have one, so you find yourself above me. How can I reason with someone who doesn't recognize? Recognized by whom? My identity of my brightness is in what I am offering to you. The spoken words, not the script words with a seal beside it to say, yes, he's right. But for you, through the revelations of what I'm speaking, get my stamp of approval without the ink. Once you are think, you don't have to stamp me with the ink. You need to just think. You just have to think. The ink can be misleading. But the revelations will never be. The proof in the pudding. The taste is in the pudding. That's revelation. Now they would say, because then, oh, you know that one university a teacher, you know so much things. You're so bright. You're so bright. And you know that one university a teach. Those sentiments had been echoed by bad-minded people or or people whose mind cannot expand, right? And Matterhorn say true. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Right? Thank you. We need you to participate. When you hear a man calling a spade, yes, help him to extend that knowledge onto the coming generation, to let them know that's how it should have been, and that will alleviate some of Earth's destruction. Because the one who are doing the right thing hasn't been lauded and lifted. It is now clearly that it is quantity over quality. So the perversion continues. That perversity continues. Stupidity over sensitivity. If I were here being stupid, right, then I'm quite sure my attendance board would be like, you would have seen some heart and some likes and go up on this very screen. Yeah. I've been watching TikTok over a year now. I joined TikTok over a year now. And I studied TikTok and said, it is not sensitivity that satellite those on TikTok is stupidity. That pull the dollars is not sensitivity. So the perversity is high here, right? But Matterhorn, you are so right, my brother. Thank you. Thank you for the strength. Right? The perversity is so high here that perversity becomes norm. Lies becomes a norm. Destruction becomes norm. Right? The norm of life. To be ignorant, it becomes norm. To be fully dunce, it becomes a norm. Right? But I know that one can chase 1,000, meaning one can make a difference. Just one. And the difference that one can make, he can only make it to persistency. He can only make it to his courageousness. He can only make it in his ability to win and not to quit. Even when the attendance board have 0, keep on talking. Don't quit. One can chase 1,000. Right? Don't throw away your red money. Don't throw away your $1. Right? You are going to need it if you want 1,000,000. Don't start count from in the middle. Start it from where the numerals begin. You cannot expect to have 1,000,000 and you throw away your 1. And those are some of the ignorance I saw been normalizing and been teach to the coming generation. Oh, glory. Right? And the coming generation comes and they throw away their pride. They throw away their start. and then scam, then chop. The word chop being a chopper, right? That you chop your way through, right? You don't start it. You don't start from one. One is too small. One is not enough, right? So you want to start from a million. You want to be a millionaire, right? And you don't want to take a year to be a millionaire. You want to be a million day, a million moment. In a moment, you can have a million. If you go to the bank with a gun, and if you're lucky, you can have a million in a moment. How do you get it? Did you start from one? Did you accumulate it? Or you go and take it? Oh, expand your mind this morning to the facts of life. Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your niece, tell your friend, tell even your enemy that Tychicus is on his life. And when Tychicus is on his life, knowledge is past. Let's hope it is not been wasted. Right? So you chop your way through. Or you scam your way through. Or you can use your teeth your way through. Right? Your greed overrides your needs. Your ability to persevere, you have lost it. Your ability to live up to your name as a human being, as a builder, you have lost it. Yeah, you have lost it. So you sit and you watch John Tom accumulate, and you go and take. John Tom accumulate and you take. Your taker. You have lost your purpose. You have lost your way because your mind, as it started to develop, not taking you back to when you come forth on earth with nothing. And as you reach 8 or 9, you started to think above your ones, your twos, your threes. You don't remember that you were 1 second old. You don't remember that you were 2 seconds old. Right? You don't remember that you were 1 day old. And you grow up to see your ones. Oh, glory be to God. And throw them away. Today, $5 can be seen all about on the street. You throw away your ones, your twos. You throw away your fractions until they stop making the red money. Your fractions, right? You throw it away. You said it is no good, and that's your start. So, a lot of you get disqualified by nature because you false start. Good morning from Kingston, Jamaica. Anna, bless up. Anna, thank you. Yes. Lot of you or fast starting. Empress Queen, thank you. Yeah. A lot of us fast start. When you throw away your start, you have to keep on starting. That's why we called for the thinkers this morning to join me. Just the thinkers, someone who can think out of the box. Why do you throw away your start? You're a false starter. Thank you, Mataran. Thank you. Thank you. So let's hope that we learned something thus far. Let's hope that what we learned this morning through this powerful reasoning not gonna just stay among us, but distribute it now to the coming generation so that they don't false start into society. They don't start without the fractions, right? They has to start with the decimal point, right? They only recognize the decimal point is when 1.5 million. Only when it goes up into a million, the decimal point has been recognized. So if we are going to ignore, oh glory, if we are going to ignore our start, it simply means we are ignoring creation and its creator. I've only been to Trinidad once. Never been to another part of the world. And I don't like to speak of what I don't know. But I've heard it, but without the facts, I cannot be certain. It's only Jamaica. You have seen their pride on the ground. Their start. The $1, the red money, the decimal points of $1, the fractions of $1, right? Henceforth, our economy always struggled. Always a struggle. Because we simply do not appreciate our start. And once you don't appreciate our start, you don't appreciate creation. We're not talking religion. We are not talking denomination. We are not talking about politicians. We are talking about creation, which is the master of religion, the master of politician, the master of denomination. They came into creation and set their own rules. That's why we have so much exception to the creator's rule, because they have been accepted by all of who is coming in, the innovators. Innovators put on the exception to the rules of the creator. And that is what caused global warming, climate change. That is how the ozone layer has got that damage. That's what causes the heat on Earth today. Climate change. Mm, mm. The sea getting more violent, sending more violent storms. Mm, mm. Because of the exceptions that these organizations, these innovators, right, have done. Bypass them, except to suit their own greed, not their need, to suit their own greed. So the exceptions of the rules are very high. And it will preach and teach in the dictionaries, in the Bible. Right? These exceptions to suit what they believe, their own belief. So does man suffer. It is the same way they try to go around the Creator's rule. So they chop their way. Choppers. Chop and change. Do you understand the words you use? Chop and change. They chop out this and put in that, and changes the whole thing. And they use education as the tool to do it. Say it's gospel. So that's why they do not like individual now. Like I would have think out of the box of what they taught me. The late Robert Nesta Marley said, they said what we know is what they teach is us. We are not to be independent of ourselves and think out of what they said. If we think out of what they said, we are considered to be unruly, rebellious, because it's only them has the ability to teach his knowledge. You can never ascertain knowledge by yourself. Thank you. Perplex. Right? You will never able to ascertain knowledge by yourself according to them. And because you're not mentally strong, you believe that it is true. And you don't even try to seek outside or think outside the box for knowledge. You think that their knowledge comes down ready-made. There is no room for any further knowledge. And you read the Bible and say, Daniel, do it, Right? You read the Bible and say, Daniel, do it. You read the Bible and say, Zerubbabel, do it. But you don't practice it. You practice what religion has said. You practice what the politician has said. Right? Man like Haile Selassie practices what nature has said, and he becomes powerful. And the man of old practices nature's command, and they live over 300 and 500 years. Today, we practices poison. colonization, clone us in poison, clone us to go the other way, clone us in our belief, in our food, education, and medicine. That's how they colonize us. They clone us. For us to kill instead to build. Perversity. We were taught to kill. How man? One of the greatest weapons of destruction is false education. Oh glory. And it is false education that builds the guns and the bombs, the nuclear weapons, the condoms, the contraceptive, the urge to kill and not to build. The urges to kill, more weapons of mass destruction, right? The weapon of mass destruction outnumbered the weaponry of construction. You see where we are today. And if you don't stop and think, you continued and helping them to destroy the universe. Would say, if you don't take a stock, you take a stock of yourself. And so wait, hold on. The animals regurgitate. Human being must meditate. The animals regurgitate. Human beings must meditate. And all of this, I've learned these through perfect meditation. Man, you need to hold a meds, man. You need to hold some serious meditation. You need to take a stock and look back where you're coming from. You need to take a stock and look back at your start, at your beginning. And that's why Marcus Garvey said, you know not where you're going unless you know where you're coming from. Man, you need to take a stock. You need to take a stock of yourself. Take a hold of yourself. And look, think now before you were born. How many of you have the ability to use your expanded mind to even imagine what were here before you? Then the hypocritical Christian tell you, say, don't fly into God's face. Anibu, bless up yourself. Alonzo Taylor, bless up. Yes. Yes. They would quick to tell you. They would quick to tell you. They would quick to tell you. Yes, they would quick to tell you that you're interfering in God's business when you tried to expand your mind. That is the poison of education, of colonization, right? Right? That is the poison of education. How education poisons you. Colonization. How they cloned you. Not to believe in yourself. Not to expand your mind. That your mind cannot go back before you were here. So they can tell you what were here and you believe it. And that's why in olden days, I don't know if it's still happening, when we asked, they would teach our children that baby comes. How baby comes? What is going on here? That baby comes out. That baby comes out of that is plane that carry baby. I'm trying something here. That's not working at all. I think I have to do this.